So apparently you don't even need to have any photography experience to get paid for editing photos. Let's talk about that. You're watching this because you were probably thinking about how you can make some extra cash from photography without even leaving the house, right? Specifically making money online from editing photos. It's what I was curious about, so I did some research and here's what I found. So making money online editing photos. Why did I choose to explore this? Well, being a photographer these days hasn't been exactly like it used to be, especially if you are a full-time photographer or even a part-timer who is getting paid to take photos of people. So instead of just being depressed about the situation with the pandemic and the restriction outdoors, I've been trying to see how I can innovate to keep up with the times. And I found out that you don't even really need to be a photographer or have any kind of experience with photography to get paid for editing photos. Let me explain. If we were to look at 4 main areas of traditionally getting paid for photography. Number 1, getting clients. All of the work that is entailed in turning somebody from a visitor into a customer. The second one, shooting. Actually taking the photos with your camera. 3, editing the photos. You took the shots and now it's the time to make them look really good. And of course, the best part, number 4, getting paid for all of that hard work. That second one though, when we're actually taking photos, we don't have that much control of how much of that could be done right now in the current situation. So what we're looking at is how we can eliminate that number 2. Wait, that came out wrong. Eliminate the second one and still run through this process and become profitable. Preferably not even having to leave the house. Now, everybody's situation is a little bit different. I've been a photographer, so I already have all of the tools, the skills, and the knowledge. I would have spent a lot of time using software like Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Photoshop, and develop the actual skills to edit a photo and have it look great. That's from learning right here on YouTube and Skillshare, where there's a link in the bio to get 40% off. Now, it's cool if you have those skills and the experience that I just mentioned, but guess what? From what I've seen, you actually don't need any of that to make money online editing photos. You can do this as a complete beginner. Now, I know I'm definitely not the only one curious about this, so I decided to bring you along to see what I found out. What's involved? Well, you're editing and enhancing photos and getting paid for it. That's all really. What matters is that you're doing a task and getting paid. Is it a way to make a living? Well, it's low stress and you get to be paid for being creative. You control how much work to be done. If you want to edit 1 photo a week versus 100 photos, that's up to you. You're your own boss here. And you're basically working from home or wherever your laptop is, which is ideal for the current times. So based on your financial situation, it's up to you whether you want to do this part-time or full-time. And believe it or not, some people make a full-time income on sites like Fiverr, which we'll get into in a little bit. Let's just run through some of the specific tasks, some of the popular ones on these sites. For example, removing stuff or somebody from a photo. Maybe there's an aunt from a family wedding portrait that people just don't get along with and they prefer that she wasn't in there. You have one of those? Color correction is the next one. Let's say there's a bright green light that's shining on the faces of people in a portrait, making them look like the Hulk. So you'll have to modify the colors to fix that, or it could even be a washed out image where you modify the colors to get that done. Photo restoration is another one, where you're bringing an old photo back to life, or just fixing a damaged photo. Another popular task is background removal, where you guessed it, you just remove the background. Now you might be thinking that must be hard to do. Do you need to know Photoshop? You don't. There are free sites that I found that can do that with just 1 click. More on that when we get into the tools. Oh, actually, we're here already. So what skills and tools do you need? I would suggest that if you are already a photographer and have the experience with Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom, then you should use that. But if you don't own it as yet, I do have an affiliate link in the description below where you can get a discount on your monthly subscription with that. So check that out. You don't have the skills with Photoshop, but you wish you did? Well, there may be an alternative that is free and you don't even need to install it. It's called Photopea, or maybe it's Photopea. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is how it's spelled. There's another one called Makeup Photo 4.2. There's also a really cool AI photo enhancing tool called Lumina AI that gets a lot of different tasks done in just a click. So you don't really need to know anything about editing or enhancing photos. And if you didn't know it before, there is a demand for this type of stuff. As you can see right here, there are people with a lot of reviews, which means that they get a lot of business done. With this amount of reviews, you could just imagine how much jobs they actually do. And just like all these other freelancing types of jobs, some platforms may be more competitive than others. So you're wondering if it could pay well, right? As we check here, photo types of jobs can range from $5 all the way up to $100 per photo. And just to give a quick snapshot of what the process is like, you create a profile, a job, a gig. So it's something specific around one task. Somebody searches for a service, they select you, you get the job done, you get paid, then you add that to your portfolio. Hopefully you get a good review and then you repeat. Setting up all of the accounts are very straightforward, as well as how you would go about finding jobs. Now there is several different freelancing websites out there that's good for this type of task. To mention a few, Upwork, Freelancer, there's Guru as well. But the ones I would suggest that you focus on is Fiverr and People Per Hour. Fiverr is a simple website online where people pay you for doing simple things. For them, it's probably complicated, which is why they'll pay you. Either that or they just don't have the time to get something like that done. For you, it will be simple. People Per Hour is very similar to Fiverr, but it's not as competitive. Though there is a bit of an approval process, which is good, which means that any and everybody just can't apply and get through, which would reduce the overall quality of the platform. It does require of every freelancer to apply and be approved before they can sell their services. But there's a chance of you getting hired for a job probably faster on People Per Hour as a newbie. Though I would say out of those two platforms, I have seen a lot of people really make a side hustle out of this on Fiverr, as you can see right here. And if you're interested in getting set up on Fiverr to really become a successful freelancer, then you can check out this course on Skillshare that costs you $0 to watch since it's a free trial. It will teach you how to freelance on Fiverr and make some money. Getting paid for photography is really cool. Uniquely cool if you don't have to even leave the house. And this was just one of the ways. There are many others. One of the others specifically is where you could get the photos or graphics done for free on one website and then submit them on another site and get paid for it. And you can check that out right here.